Mondays to Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't afford to miss it.
And the last issue we are treating on the program today, the federal government insisted on Monday that it has not increased the pump price of premium motor spirit PMS, popularly called petrol, above the regulated cost of 165 naira per litre. This is according to the Minister of State for Petroleum, Chief Timipri Silva. These are the issues we are taking a look at on today's edition of this program. You are welcome once again. My name is Abiodun Olalere, and I have with me in the newsroom Adewale Adeomi.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, the team is just, we are trying to put so many things in order. You should trust us. Journalists, when there are issues, you always know how to make up for it.
Of course.
And you can never get into the newsroom and won't find journalists.
Of course.
So that is why I am bringing in Adeboye Kukola into the studio. It is an emergency call. He has no choice. He has to respond. You are welcome.
Thank you, Abiodun Olalere.
Now, let's go straight to business now. Let me start with Adewale Adeomi. Kawu Baraji. This is a serious allegation, if you may ask, that this incident that we are facing in Nigeria today is a result of the influx of foreign Fulanis, foreign in code now, we are not Nigerians, that were brought in for the purpose of election.
Yeah.
How will you react to that?
Well, it's a serious allegation, but it's a shame on a country that people, whether they are already in power or they are aspiring for the office of any public office, that they will resort to illegality. They will resort to things that are inimical to the welfare of the country by bringing in foreigners to come and vote in the country. And not only foreigners to come and vote, but those foreigners are militant. They are carrying weapons and all of these things. To bring them into Nigeria under any guise is the height of illegality. And when our people who are aspiring for public office will resort to that, that means they are insecure in themselves, they lack confidence in their own ability, and they lack confidence in the fact that they can win their own people, so they will bring people from outside the country. So if these allegations are substantiated, it's a shame on them, it's a shame on the country that cannot guard its borders.
How will you react to it?
You see, when you take a look at the issue of the election, of which people from foreign countries, West Africa, foreign countries, came to campaign for President Muhammadu Buhari, you will see that that was the first time the country we experienced that type of election campaign. And if shortly after that election, the country started experiencing something that is very unusual to our political system, to the people there, we cannot but trace that abnormalities that we are witnessing and the unusual situation to an incident that is alien to us. So if somebody is claiming or somebody is making an assertion that it was due to the influx of Fulani into the campaign of Buhari,
foreign
Fulanis to the campaign of Buhari, if one is tracing the present phenomenon to it, then that person cannot be said to be, saying unusual. I mean, something that is not palatable. You will see that Fulani people, they had a culture, the culture of dominating people, imperialistic tendencies, imperialistic political culture. Take a look at this jihad of Uthman Dan Fodio. You know, when Fulani first came in those days, they were even employed by local Hausa people, by local Hausa administrators into their respective kingdoms there. But later, and they knew what they wanted to do.
They had a mission.
They had a mission.
Exactly.
And that mission is the mission of suppression, the mission of loading themselves on the local people, the mission of taking over the administration of Hausa land. And that was what they accomplished later. And that one is the focus of Uthman Dan Fodio's jihad or crusade. Now, and since then, the Fulanis, wherever they are, they have not they have not relented in ensuring that they capture the whole of Nigeria. They capture, different, regional governments or regional states.
I'll still come to, because I have some issues that you need to clear on that, but I don't want you to dominate the airspace for too long. Now, it just gave historical background of the fall of Hausa Empire. Yeah, I remember history of those years when we were in secondary school. Now, we knew that before 2015, when before the period this Kawu Barade was referring to, we also had insecurity, primarily in the northeast. Of course, insurgency, Boko Haram. Yeah. But this time around, it is another issue entirely. Yes. Now, where I'm going is this: this set of people, they are not here on conquest mission in line with his earlier background, historical background. Yes. But they are just killing, maiming.
You remember that about 2 years, around 2 years ago, Governor El Rufai of Kaduna was quoted as saying that they, like this Boraje is saying now, that they brought in fighters from Mali, from other countries, into Nigeria for the 2015 election, and that after the election they did not pay them, used and dumped them, and those fighters who were brought into Nigeria refused to leave until they were paid, or they would get their money one way or the other. So we know if what we are now hearing again from Baraje is true, then the people in power, or the persons in power, are the ones to blame, and they are the ones to be called out and let them explain to us why they would do such a thing. We know why they would do it, to win election. But the over what could I call it, to win election, overzealous attitude to win election by any means necessary is wrong, is ungodly, is unconstitutional, is unlawful, and they should be called to give account. And Baraje, being one of them now, is coming out to say what they did. Let's hold Baraje and let Baraje confess and name others and take them all to court. This kind of thing will never happen in the United States, and those named will still be walking free. It will never happen, not anywhere in Europe.
Now, the federal government had claimed that it has the list of the sponsors of this insurgency, lawlessness, criminality, and what have you. There was even a time Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, instituted a legal suit against the Attorney General that he should name those people. So, is it not related?
You see, when you take a look at the issues of sponsors of Boko Haram, you will see that it's an open secret. It is no more a secret. Everybody knows. For instance, there were names of people sent from United Arab Emirates.
Yeah.
You see, as co-accused in a particular case where some Nigerians were jailed, but those that were at large then, whose destination or wherever they are was unknown to the administration, the government of United Arab Emirates, they sent the list of those names to the Attorney General of Nigeria for arrest and for possible extradition into United Arab Emirates up to today. Attorney General
and that is why I'm asking. Is the claim of Baraje not at interdem with what you have just said?
That is exactly what we are saying. You see, when federal government is interested in those that perpetrate crimes,
interested in protecting.
Yeah.
Okay.
You will see that actually the federal government knows everything pertaining to insurgents, pertaining to terrorism, and so on and so forth. The former head of state, Tabasa, said that once the case of insurgents is growing more than
1 year. No, he said a few months.
3 months.
3 months.
That the government is interested.
Yes.
It has hands. And in what way will government have a hand or has hand in a particular criminal situation? That is by protecting those who are perpetrating those evils. That is exactly what we are witnessing in Nigeria.
And for how long shall we continue with this?
Well, until Nigerians will get tired of it and rise up and demand demand accountability from their leaders, from their presidents, from the elected officials.
But right now, our leaders, everywhere, irrespective of political party now, the leaders are interested in elections.
Well,
gaining powers.
But look at what is happening in the National Assembly right now when senators are joining ranks and demanding that the president be held accountable. And one of the ways, or maybe the quicker or better way, is to impeach him. Is because the people are getting tired of it, and their elected officials are tired of we, the people, accusing them, pointing fingers at them. And so they are getting into the National Assembly now, and they are demanding accountability from the president and everyone like Baraje or whoever knows anything about insecurity. They're not talking about economy. Economy is bad. They're not talking about corruption. Corruption is very bad, but they are talking specifically about insecurity. And they are asking the president to, they give him 2 weeks, and the 2 weeks will elapse in a few days. And now that the time is coming near, they're asking that the president be impeached because nothing has been heard from the presidency since the 2 weeks. No statement from the head of state, that is the president, nothing, no action. And in spite of that, even within the 2 weeks ultimatum that was given, we saw the attack on Kuje prison, we saw the attack on Brigade of Guards.
I think the, what do you call it?
Yes.
The ultimatum came after those attacks.
Came after those attacks. Okay, it came after those attacks, but it's within a few days. But in spite of that it came after the attack, the ultimatum came. Shouldn't the president have responded when there was a problem in that affected Americas anywhere where there is a problem anywhere? The president will go on the air to assure his people that they are on top of the situation. Look at when
but when they are not on top, you expect them to be telling lies.
Well, they ought to come out and say that we need help.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
They
No.
If
The
they are
said
drowning.
He said that when he received Mexican envoy, that indirectly that we need help.
He received Mexican envoy. He received Colombian envoy. He has received Turkish prime minister. President even. He has received foreigners coming to offer help to Nigeria, and he will say when those people are there or when the visit is fresh that they need help or the country needs help. But a few days after, everything dies down. The body language of the president is unbearable anymore. And the president ought to speak up and tell the Nigerian people specifically what he is doing to arrest the situation.
The same question. For how long shall we continue with this insecurity?
As long we will continue in this mess, as long as the federal government's insincerity has not,
it's in doubt.
Has not been faulted, has not been busted. The day Nigerians, become illimitable, impervious to the trick and propaganda by the federal government as far as the security situation of Nigeria is concerned, you see, the problem will persist. But the day that Nigerians determine to free, when we determine to free ourselves, the day that we decide on our liberation.
Through vote or how?
It could be in any form. It could be in a non-violent revolution.
Yes.
You remember what happened in Sri Lanka recently?
Mm-hmm.
The people filed out when they were fed up of irresponsibility of a Sri Lankan president, because when the head is bad, every other part of the body, we function abnormally. That is what we are witnessing in Nigeria. Even without votes, any irresponsible government, any government that is nonchalant of the safety of the people, could be thrown out. And what is the essence of having?
But they are claiming that they are doing their best.
When your best cannot provide solution to the problem on ground, it means that you have to leave.
We move to the second topic now, and good enough. The second topic is related to this first one. It has to do with insecurity again, and that is that's why we had hundreds of aggrieved persons who are members of Guardians of Democracy and Development Initiatives called on President Muhammadu Buhari to remove the National Security Advisor and Chief of Defense Staff. Is that not some of the moves or is that not some of the things Nigerians are demanding for? It too with what Alibu said just now.
Those spots of resistance here and there, those who are on the street protesting now, their activity is not nationally or widely spread or accepted. If it's accepted, look at the example when NADECO was formed, National Democratic Coalition. At the same time, NALICON, National Liberation Congress, NFF, Nigeria Freedom Foundation, and some others, CDIC, Something for Democracy. All of those small groups came together as one, and they decided that we were tired of all of it, and we formed a united front and moved forward and approached the military government then. What we are seeing now is that Nigerian young people mostly are not even paying attention to what is happening to them. As long as they have money to buy Lexus and do Yahoo Yahoo, whatever they're doing, they are not. Many of them are not paying attention to what's happening.
But if you are treated,
and even civil servants also, as long as your salary is guaranteed and your pension is guaranteed, then you look the other way as what's happening to the nation. I'm not talking about you here now, but civil servants. Yeah,
we are not looking the other way.
Okay, so civil servants need to be proactive, and when we read about this kind of group reaching out and coming out, there ought to be overwhelming support from the whole nation in support of their.
You will recall that there was a time that these service chiefs were changed.
Yeah.
And it doesn't appear as if
nothing has changed.
Have achieved.
Yeah, nothing has changed. We say change service chiefs. The president changed them, the same thing going on. Another set of service chiefs, the same thing is going on. When will the average Nigerian be tired of it and demand accountability from their president?
Okay,
yes.
Do you agree that removing National Security Advisor and Defense Minister is...
the removal of security advisors, we not hard to... I mean, we not live to. We not end this crisis, and we not even lead to what people,
actually want it.
You see, what they want from the federal government. I told you the other time.
We not guarantee peace.
Peace, as long as the federal government doesn't change its attitude,
but
attitude.
Who is or are the federal government?
The federal government is the presidency. If we are not deceiving ourselves, look at what is happening. I'm coming.
Not part of the presidency.
I'm coming. You see, one thing is this: you have to understand the operation of what we call government, the way government functions.
Okay.
Now, if you are the president, and you have interest in a particular group whose activities are inimical to the entire populace.
Are you alleging that?
Of course, from the plethora of evidence that we have gathered both from
lawyer don't start to
from outside the country and from what the pieces of evidence that we have been able to gathered within internally. One will say without hesitation that it is either the federal government is open, fraternizing with all these insurgent groups, or the federal government is interested, want to achieve something by what they are doing. That is the picture.
I know you are not a judge. Lawyers will always have a case.
Yes. You see, that is the way I look at it. That is the way I look at it. Look, Obadiah Milafia, before he died, he made a revelation, shocking revelation. Even indicted the Apex Bank in Nigeria, the CBN, that money, huge amount of money, was transferred through the central bank to sympathizers of Boko Haram in Egypt and some other countries. You can see the enormity.
But he was unable to substantiate it.
When
he was invited by DSS.
That was the statement by the DSS. What of the list? One of those things that he said was that the sponsors of Boko Haram were in United Arab Emirates. And no sooner he made that revelation than the government of United Arab Emirates arrested some Nigerians, some of which were tried and convicted, and the names of others were sent to the Attorney General of Nigeria and the Attorney General of the Federation. And the response from the Attorney General of the Federation then was that the judgment will be studied critically. Are you getting what I'm saying? Maybe they are still the Attorney General is still studying that judgment. You see, when lackadaisical attitude of government is painting picture of connivance, and there is no change of attitude by that government, I mean, one will not hesitate to draw conclusion of possible linkage or annexure of interest.
Yeah.
Okay, now, we are where we are now. Quite unfortunate. I do. When you listen to radio stations, you watch TV stations, even online, all these facts in quotes now that have been said there are everywhere. Yeah. And I remember during my younger days, when there was a course there in public relations. They say that course taught us that you first identify a problem. And the moment a problem has been identified, then you'll be able to find solution. Sure. Would you say that we have not identified this problem up till now?
We have over and over and over again identified the problem. Foreign powers, foreign agencies, foreign persons, foreign institutions have helped us to identify the problem over and over again. There are things online. You can Google insecurity Nigeria and you see a bunch of reports that have been published pointing to the problem that we are talking about right now. And what is happening is that the federal government, or those in power, let me just say like that, they have not responded. They have not taken any proactive step that we see. If they have taken any, let them bring it out and tell us that they are doing this, they are doing that. They have not taken any known proactive step to address these things, to say that Nigerians deserve to be secure in their own homes. And that is why this thing continues. And that is why insurgency or terrorism or banditry is moving from the north east to the northwest, so from the north generally, coming southward.
Now central now.
Yeah, it's now in the north central.
Abuja is in north central.
And we have a warning that Osun and Ogun, our forests are invaded and occupied by terrorists. So these things are moving in and closer. And the federal government removed and cancelled all our gun licenses. Those who have gun license to own a private gun, it was cancelled by one IGP 3 or 4 IGPs ago. So what will you and I need to defend ourselves? The federal government is removing it from us, and now because the federal government is removing or has removed those things, these insurgents are moving southwards. We have to point our finger at our president, at our government, and say, we need an answer. And that's what the National Assembly is trying to do now. An answer from the president.
And you see them achieving anything?
Well, we'll see when they resume in September whether they will do anything at all. We will see what they will do.
We'll see.
You see, at this point in time, will a responsible representative of the people proceed on recess if actually these people are representing us?
No, not recess per se, they are adjourned. So they can be called anytime if situation demands. Thank God you know law now. Recess is different from adjournment.
When you adjourn,
you see.
Okay,
let's move to the.
What does that mean?
So the last.
We should use the right language. I mean, to explain.
No, that was what they said.
What they said. What is the interpretation?
You are giving it another.
No, what is the interpretation? When you adjourn a particular sitting Senate, what does it mean? They cannot say they are proceeding on holiday because Nigerians, wherever they see them, will stone them.
They will learn that they are backing on these oversight functions.
Oversight of what? Oversight of when the country is on fire.
And the
or is about to be set ablaze.
But they are not commanders.
They are not commanders, but they can command.
Yes.
They are there to command the president to do the needful.
They can hold special session and command the
But
president.
remember last year they invited Mr. President. Also, the Mr. President did not.
And did they themselves follow up and follow through? That is the
And what is even the sincerity in the invitation and the appearance of the president?
Okay, another endless topic. Another endless topic. We hope that Nigeria becomes safer, so that I remember those years. Let me do that. I don't waste time. Let's move to the third topic now. I'm starting with you.
Yes.
Now, the official pump price of petrol is 165 naira per liter.
Yes.
I learned in Lagos that is the amount that is the rate they buy it. But the moment you move from Lagos towards the hinterland, the rate increases as you in Osogbo there's about 170 or thereabouts.
190.
190, okay.
200.
No, there are some major marketers.
Yes.
Those ones, I don't want to mention names. I don't want to be advertising. And when you move to the north, it increases. So, but the federal government is saying we did not increase. So, what do you think is the situation of or what do you think could have resorted to this
disparity?
Yes.
And the sale of, you see.
No, not disparity the sales, but the antagonistic position of the federal government and the oil market.
You see, when you take a look at a particular problem, the problem cannot be solved without tracing the history of that problem. Now, fuel problem or this staggering rates of pump price of petrol started when federal government introduced what we call a payment of a subsidy to exporters of PMS.
Exporter or importer?
The
importers.
The importers, sorry.
Okay,
the importers of PMS. And it was then that the exporters, started.
Importers.
I mean, sorry, the importers.
Maybe you want to do export.
It was then that the importers who or started threatening Nigerians that the subsidy that federal government is paying is not could not
accommodate
match up with the price they buy from wherever they export. And that one has been the problem over the years. At times, I mean, there were times that the federal government will say, okay, we are increasing the prices or the price of PMS, the rate at which it is sold, purposely because we want to remove subsidy. Because it got to a point that Nigerians discovered that this subsidy that federal government is claimed to be paying is nothing but a scam.
Even the present president says so.
The present president said it some time ago.
2015.
2015 when he was gathering momentum for
when he was in the opposition.
In the opposition.
I think that is better.
But when he got there was a time, I cannot remember the year, in January, when President Goodluck Jonathan said that the fuel prices will be deregulated.
And Nigeria protested.
Now, all the big wigs in the present APC today were among those that led the protest there. That nothing was paid, that the subsidy was never paid by federal government. And that one accounted for Goodluck Jonathan to resume the payment of subsidy again. Now, if you look at it, you will see that as long as Nigeria continue importation of fuel, there cannot be an end to all this, staggering
okay.
What do I call it?
I don't know if Mr. Adewumi was in Nigeria then. There was a time when the selling rate of petrol for commercial vehicle was different from private vehicle. I don't know if
yes.
So, but it's clear. There was a time
it's understandable.
We experienced it in Nigeria. Are we not moving back towards that era now?
Well, we may be moving back toward that era, but right now it sold the same price to everybody. But let me say what the marketers may be looking at, because they're not living in an isolated world. We all live in a universal world, and we see or hear about what's happening in other countries, in other zones, in other areas. Before I dig into that, let me say that the different prices of petrol from Lagos to Osun to Kwara to the north is because of the different zones. It takes a distance to transport from Lagos to Maiduguri or to Sokoto, so the prices will be different. But this is what marketers may be looking at. The cost of gasoline or petrol in the United States, in Europe, in other countries is much higher than what we are paying in Nigeria right now.
So it's cheaper here.
It is cheaper here than it is.
Or even the cheapest,
I think it's the cheap. Well, it's not the cheapest because Libya is much cheaper. So it's not the cheapest. But what I'm trying to say is that in the United States, a liter of gasoline is 972 naira. We are paying 180, 190 naira, and we are groaning. But I understand that I'm groaning because the economy here is not the same as the economy there.
What is the minimum wage over there compared to minimum wage in Nigeria?
That's what I'm getting into. The minimum wage in the US is $12 an hour. $12 for 1 hour. So if you work 6 hours a day, you earn $72 a day. So you cannot ever compare that to Nigeria.
$72
a day times 620.
Let's $100 will give us about.
will give us 60,000 something.
For $100.
Yes, for $100. Yes.
So it means it will be about 45,000 naira per day.
Exactly that they earn.
At the hand. And in
but
Nigeria, we don't even know.
So we cannot compare the two. But I'm just saying that
and the minimum wage of Nigeria is I think something per month. Not per day.
And not per week or per day. Exactly. The global economy is affecting us in Nigeria. If you remember in March, somebody said it that the war in Ukraine will affect food all over the world. And somebody mentioned Nigeria specifically. Because we import grain, and the price of bread is so high, we import sugar, we import everything. So what's happening in Ukraine is going to affect us, and it's affecting us in Nigeria. So that's the same thing with gasoline. We live in a global world, and this is a global age where everything that happens in one area is replicated, affecting other areas. What we are experiencing in Nigeria, part of it is bad leadership or inefficient leadership. Those who have been saying it have been saying it. If we have good leaders, Yakubu Gowon established a price control board during his regime, whereby you could not buy a can of pig milk for more than 15 kobo or 20 kobo, whatever the price was then. No matter what, you go anywhere, the same price. But this federal government, starting from Obasanjo, this era of democracy, they have been playing with the people's emotion, and they have been digging into the people's pockets, and the people need to now rise up and say the government has its knee on their neck, and the government has its hand in our pockets, and let the government get its hand out of our pockets, and our life will be better.
Okay, let's look at this now. The federal government is still paying subsidy.
Yes. But who's receiving the subsidy?
And that is the question. So if the federal government is still paying subsidy, it means that you have some measure of control over the selling price. I want to believe so.
Of course, that is the essence of
subsidizing. So if that is the case, why will the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Silvers, insisting that it was the marketers that increased the price, not the federal government?
You see,
it may be true.
You see, when you, like I told you the other time, this government, this is the first time Nigeria will be having a government that is at the peak of unfaithfulness to the citizens. Because I don't know why a minister, a member of the cabinet, whose major responsibility is to oversee a particular area of the economy, will say that he doesn't know, or he doesn't know that.
He doesn't know why.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
They have the PPR or PPPR. They have the DPR.
You see, even this subsidy that the government is claiming, to be paying or to claim that it pays. How sincere is the payment of that subsidy? How sincere?
Or how transparent?
Or
how transparent?
Before we can be talking of a transparency, we need to know the sincerity. Are you getting what I'm saying? Even if they are not transparent and there is sincerity,
but
it is the civil populace that will rise up, that we prevail on whosoever.
Okay, I don't know. The minister, I said, government cannot enforce a uniform rate as it is now.
And it's laughable.
And
you see me, I broke out into laughter at that statement, that the government cannot. The government has the power, and the government regulates our activities. The government tells me how long I can stay out at night. The government tells me how fast I can drive. The government tells me how to live my life. So how can the Minister of State say that the government has no control over something that they are supposed to be regulating?
What they are paying for, if actually they are paying for it.
Yes.
Because it is like federal government, sponsors people to buy this thing for us.
Yeah. So the government is not sincere.
It is for the purpose of ensuring that there is uniformity in price.
Exactly. That's why they have the petrol price
PPR. But if the government, could come out to say, yes, we have removed the subsidy.
This sector, for a long time, you will agree with me, people will say, or some people will say, has been shielded in some kind of secrecy.
Yes.
You will recall when MP Abela was to contest for the presidency in 1993, and someone asked him about subsidy pump and said, before you could answer that question, we want to know the cost of producing a liter.
Yes.
Okay. So then it will be able to determine what the price will be, and as an answer that it may not be. So that has always been the situation from beginning.
Yeah. And it's going to be, it will continue to be the situation until somebody steps in and do something, and any government, any president, any power can come out and pronounce anything until we begin to refine crude oil within Nigeria and the finished product is given to Nigerians. We will be saying the same thing. We need to refine our own crude.
Those benefiting from the system, would they allow the refineries to
They would never.
That is what we are saying.
They would never.
It means those people are powerful.
It could,
and they are claiming powerlessness.
President Goodluck Jonathan once said that the power behind the fuel extraction, production, exportation in Nigeria, importation in Nigeria are cartels. And when mafia is controlling a particular woman affairs.
You recall that the
Maduke?
No, not Maduke. This lady, who's now the
Iwela.
That his mother was was
Yes.
And she claimed that it was as a sort of this disagreement between her and
you see the issue of fuel, purchasing from overseas and the distribution in Nigeria.
Yeah.
It has become an open system to all forms of corruption.
Yes.
And that is the top, the deep of corruption in Nigeria. Even if that one should be probed, a number of one will be surprised.
Has it ever been probed?
You even remember when
anything come out of
you
it?
even remember when President the present president
Muhammadu Buhari
was Minister of
Petroleum.
Petroleum. You could remember what happened there. So what are we now saying?
and he's still the Minister of Petroleum.
And he's still the Minister. What changed?
We won't be able to go. We won't be able to go further than this. So many things that still needed to be said, but the fact remains that we can't say everything at a time.
Yeah.
So we'll thank you for being a partner over there, and let me appreciate Adewale Adewumi.
Thank you very much.
And Adebukola. In spite of the short notice, we appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. It's part of us.
A journalist will always be a journalist. In this room, we'll be back tomorrow. My name is Abiodun Lalede. We'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.
Mondays through Fridays, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the newsroom. You can't.